Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nerd Collision. I'm Eddie, that's Ray, that's Carla, and that's Brandon. And today we are going to be reviewing episode one of Miss Marvel. I'm so
Woohoo!
excited. Uh, 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 uh. Oh my gosh, alrighty, guys. Now, this is our spoiler review, so if you have not been able to watch episode one of Miss Marvel, that's okay. Go ahead and pause this video, watch the first episode, and then come back here and listen to our spoiler review. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get right into the recap here. And this recap was brought to us by DM Talkies, and it was written by Pramit Chatterjee. Now, in the beginning of this episode, Kamala Khan plans to attend Avenger Con. Miss Marvel episode one starts off with Kamala Khan making a handcrafted stop motion video of Captain Marvel's contribution to defeating Thanos. It's a simplistic yet stunning display of craft and a hint at the tone of the miniseries going forward. Then, an equally brilliant one-shot take, Kamala's family is introduced to us. There's Kamala's mother, Kamala's father, and Kamala's elder brother. All of them wish Kamala the best as she goes to attend the final test for her driver's license. Things go horribly bad at the said test as Kamala crashes into her driver instructor's car. Yusuf and Muniba immediately come to Kamala's rescue and reprimand the driving instructor for not teaching Kamala properly. Kamala goes to school, and it seems she isn't the most famous person there because everyone keeps giving her weird looks. She has two friends, though, Bruno Corelli and Nakia Bahadir. They talk about attending Avenger Con, the final flourish that's required for Kamala's Captain Marvel costume to look amazing, and asking Kamala's bully, Zoe, for a ride to the Avenger Con now that Kamala has failed her driving test. That conversation is interrupted by Kamala's class teacher, who gives Kamala a long speech about finding purpose and knowing what she wants to be in the future. While Kamala keeps drifting in and out of her daydreams, and although she's told to not fantasize too much and be rooted in reality, she keeps planning how to get into the first ever Avenger Con. Bruno comes up with the simple and hence impossible idea of Kamala asking her mother to let her go to Avenger Con. Kamala rubbishes that idea because getting permission from your South Asian parents to do something you want to do is unachievable. On their way back home, Kamala and Bruno talk about giving her costume a zombie, an Asgardian, an Iron Man, a Black Panther, a Doctor Strange, or a princess-themed touch. Kamala's mother arrives with a box of her nanny's belongings. She finds a bangle in it, but when Kamala asks about it to her mother, she hands it over to Amir and tells him to put it in the attic, while ordering Kamala to assist her in Amir's wedding shopping. And when we see a hint of internal misogyny in South Asian families as Kamala's mother and a woman from the community speak ill of a girl who chose to travel the world instead of getting married. Back in the Khan household, Bruno installs an AI system called Zuru that'll allow Yusuf to handle everything in the house remotely. Yusuf is visibly excited about it. Kamala and her mother return home, and Bruno urges Kamala to utilize her parents' positive vibes to get their permission to go to Avenger Con. On Bruno's way out, Muniba packs a whole lot of food for him. When Bruno questions her speed with the food, she says it's a mom thing. After mustering up a lot of courage, Kamala finally asks her parents if she can go to Avenger Con, and they immediately shut her down with all kinds of conservative excuses, ranging from skimpy clothes to underage drinking and romance. Kamala, upset and angry, points out that if Amir had requested the same thing from them, they would have agreed. So that wraps up the first part of this episode, and this was a pretty fun, normal teenage things going on with Kamala Khan. But what did you guys think?
I'm sorry. I liked it. Now, as someone who has read a couple of Miss Marvel comics, I would say they fairly kept true to Kamala. Her family, her religion does play a big part of her character. And I would say that, they did a very well job of honoring that. Um, she is a huge fan of Captain Marvel, so them portraying that again was something they did very well. Showing like the normal teenage angst of like driver's ed, high school, being an awkward kid. I think they really did that really well. Also, another thing I do want to give them kudos for is again portraying Kamala's family. Again, her heritage does play a big part in that, and how they portrayed that on on the show was really good. How you have the overbearing mother. Also, like Eddie said, the scene with Kamala and the mom, and the other one talking about the girl who was traveling instead of getting married. Kind of like traditional values, but kind of like the new thing, American marriages and all that stuff. Again, portrayed very well, and we see when Kamala asked to go to well, before I get that part, as someone who's recently been going to conventions the last couple of years, um, so I like the conversation they have, with, like making alterations to her Miss Captain Marvel cosplay. The great thing about cosplay is that you can do anything. You can be a character. You can take characters and mash them up. So going as like a zombie Captain Marvel or Black Panther Captain Marvel, it was really fun to see that conversation because there are so many talented cosplayers out there who do put their own spin on characters and make it their own. That was real nice to see. Um, with Kamala's background, parents are more stricter with their daughters than they are with their sons. So again, Kamala pointing out if a brother had asked, it would have been a problem as opposed to her asking. Um, Even though it's not an issue of them not trusting their daughter. I Well, at least for me, part of it, I think it was just the environment itself. They didn't feel comfortable with her going. But again, they were much stricter on Kamala, her than her brother. So seeing that all played out was really good. As far as this first part goes, I feel that overall they did a really good job of translating the character from the comics to live action.
Okay.
I enjoyed seeing the parental elements in this episode. Child, because let me tell you something. In every culture, you got that one parent or both parents or family member who love to guilt trip the out of you. Okay?
Oh,
I cannot stand when parents try to make you feel bad for your life choices and decisions. Girl, they be like, you will get pregnant and die. Like, girl, it's just a little bit of champagne. They'll be okay. And they swear that if they take a sip of apple cider, they're gonna become a Jezebel. Like, y'all need to calm down. Calm down. Calm down. And I get it because I was hurt too at one point in my life as a teen because it's like
right.
you want to be heard so bad, but it feels like you're just talking to a brick wall. And they really captured that really well, and I enjoyed seeing that. It's cool to see that her brother isn't a complete dick because I mean, come on, we all know that there's always that one older sibling, whether it's not in your own family in the movies or maybe someone else that you know. They always got that older sibling who's just making their life miserable and stuff like that. So that was nice to see as well. That they have that family dynamic, even if they know the hell out of each other, they still love each other and shit. So that was cute. And I love the little animations in the back, like while she was just like skating around, do whatever the kids do these days on the Ticket Talk. That was great. I love that. It reminded me of Scott Pilgrim, like those little animations in the background while they're acting. That was
Right.
Very
really
much
cute.
that. Yeah.
I love that.
Love that.
Maybe that was an homage to it, and if so, 10 out of 10. Y'all ate. But definitely enjoyed that bit.
Awesome.
Carla?
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Ray.
Think that in the beginning that I agreed with Brandon about that parent that guilt trip you because my mom was notorious for it. I can so relate to that, and that's that Disney did a great job at making Kamala and the family so relatable.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And Ray, you gonna add something to it?
Yeah, just that her mother is real was giving out that season pro stuff because she was so good with it, so subtle but yet so direct and blunt with it. So yeah, I'm interested to see going forward the dynamic between her and her mom, because her mom, like, the guilt trip, like, she had everything, like, you couldn't get anything past her. But yeah, it was very interesting to see that play out too. And one thing I do want to point out another that they did well was, I remember Kamala having this very, like, bubbly, personality, and seeing that again display really well on screen. So I just want to give kudos to that as well.
Absolutely. And for anyone watching, if you're looking for a story to get started with regarding Miss Marvel, highly recommend this one, Miss Marvel. No,
yes, I read that one.
Yes, and if you guys watch the episode, you'll also see they took a lot from this story, and this is a good book. I think it's the very first one in the series. So, yeah, definitely highly recommend. And also, just real quickly regarding like the parents, and I'm speaking as someone who has no children, has no plans on having children, but I think it's important for parents to sit down and have a conversation with your kids whenever you see that they have interest in certain things, and get to know why they're interested, what gravitates them towards this particular interest, rather than immediately shutting it down. I think that would go a long way within your child becoming whoever they want to be in this life. And so I think that's just something that's really important. I just wanted to put that out there. Once again, I don't have any kids. Not planning on having any.
Say it.
But it's just a recommendation.
The way that my alumni that y'all been raising the kids lets me know I don't need any offspring in this world. I'll be the gay uncle.
Same, and I'm happy to be so.
You can eat all the candy you want.
Absolutely.
But I'm dropping you off to your mom after.
That's exactly that.
I could just drop Sasha off with you guys and come back and be like, how did you enjoy it?
Oh my goodness. Alrighty, guys, with that being said, we'll go ahead and move into the next part of this episode where Kamala Khan reaches Avenger Khan at the nick of time. Although some of Kamala's anger at her parents is directed towards her brother, Amir assures Kamala that he's going to use his male privilege to convince their parents to let her go to Avenger Khan. Kamala texts Bruno about the failure of their plan. The following day, Kamala's mother almost catches her in her Captain Marvel suit, but Kamala quickly hides it before facing the horrible truth. She can go to Avenger Con if she goes as the Little Hulk, green painted, green camise, and purple salwar, along with her father dressed as Big Hulk. Kamala calls it out for being cringeworthy, which hurts her father and her mother, and they revert to their original position, or in other words, Kamala can't go to Avenger Con. Kamala meets up with Bruno to discuss the fallout of her words. Seeing Kamala lose hope in herself and her enthusiasm about embodying Captain Marvel, Bruno reveals what he has been working on. Yes, photon gloves that light up to mimic Captain Marvel's superpowered punches. They have a lighthearted moment as they play fight with each other. But before day zero, reality strikes Kamala harder than usual as she gets bullied by Zoe, faces body image issues because she's always supposed to cover herself up, and her parents appear visibly pissed. That said, when Zuzu, the AI, starts to malfunction, Kamala experiences a light bulb moment. She says that if she can't leave for AdventureCon by leaving the house, she has to do the same without leaving the house. The following day, Kamala lays out the plan in front of Bruno. According to her, at 5:49 p.m., she is going to make up some excuse and be done with dinner a little early. At 5:55 p.m., she is going to suit up, jump out of the house like a superhero, and cycle her way to the bus stand along with Bruno, dressed as Tony Stark. Bruno asks what if Kamala's parents come in to check on her and find out that she's gone. Kamala says that's where Bruno and Zuzu come in, as they'll keep a watch on her parents and keep them out of her bedroom until she returns. Kamala returns to her fantasy plan where she and Bruno jump on the roof of the bus while riding their bicycles that'll take them to AdventureCon. There, they'll have the time of their lives and return home by 9:22 p.m. so that her father doesn't catch her out of bed. Before doing all this, though, Bruno gives Kamala one piece of advice, and that is to find her flourish and, if possible, connected to her Pakistani heritage. Unaware of the bangle's origins, Kamala seeks it out and plans to make it part of her ensemble. On day zero, things don't go according to plan as Kamala takes a massive tumble while escaping her house. They almost miss the bus, and while loading her cycle into the bus, the doors close on her, causing Kamala to leave it lying on the streets, ready to be stolen. But all the odds are still against them because they have to get back home on time. Kamala and Bruno arrive on time. They collect all kinds of merchandise, pose with huge sculptures of the Hulk, Ant-Man, and finally arrive at the Captain Marvel section. Now that wraps up that part of the episode, which was pretty fun to watch. But what did you guys think?
Well, I loved it. When the parents approached Kamala about the condition about letting her go, I started to say just maybe she can kind of go with it. I think her father would have been more understanding than her mom about her Captain Marvel costume, but when she just like flat out rejected it, I was a little sad for the dad because he came in all dressed up, painted his face and everything, and also I kind of wish he had shown them their costume because it really wasn't like I say it's not like skin tight or anything like that. I mean, again, as someone who's been going to conventions the last couple of years, there are definitely some characters who have far more exposed costumes than Captain Marvel. Like, it's not like we're getting the Captain Marvel from the comic because her original outfit was like a bodysuit and some thigh-high boots, and like that was it.
Right.
So we're getting, Commander, fully clothed Captain Marvel. But yeah, seeing that part was a little sad for the dad for that reason. Also, the planning was meticulous, even though I love the contrast of how she thought it was going to go versus how it actually went, and everything that went wrong. But seeing that play out too was like just fun to see. And another thing about conventions, like it's pretty standard. Like there are drinks for adults, but it's like it's not so easy to drink if you're underage unless an adult buys you a drink. I haven't seen anyone that irresponsible. Not saying it's not a possibility, but yeah, like we've been talking about earlier in the first part, seeing the the guilt trips and how stern and mistreated they are with Kamala and her brother. Plays that too, but she went to the convention and had fun. She just just want to go with friends and take pictures and stuff. That's really what you do. You spend
Right.
all your money buying toys and comics and posters, and just have fun with your friends. That's pretty much all there is. But seeing that all play out too was really nice. I like that she wanted to add the bracelets to the costume, kind of give it a stand out from everybody else. Too, I said things like that. Like I said, when it comes to cosplaying, everyone wants to. I mean, you can go like depending on the character you're cosplaying, go traditional down to the T about how that character looks and how they dress. But you also can like take chances and make the character your own in your own way too. That's the fun part about cosplaying. So seeing them have that conversation and kind of this going that route was really fun to see. But yeah, I mean, definitely part of, as far as this part goes, like seeing them just how they were planning to get there, because of what actually happened was really fun to see. Again, I really like the tone of the show is kind of like it's addressing um cultural differences, but still not taking itself like too seriously. You can have a little fun too.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing, Miss Marvel be a rebellious teenager, as she should. Girl, fuck what the parents say. Like, go out, have a good time. Drink, not too much. But party, like, have a blast, kid. Like, who cares? Like, first of all, she right. There is no little hope. There is no little hope. They're not a duo, okay? And y'all trying to make her feel bad with the costumes and shit like that. Y'all get over yourselves.
Right.
Okay? Yeah, it's a new generation. Like Eddie said earlier, let kids explore. Look at the Smiths. Look at their children. Look how talented they are. Look what Jaden's doing with his own thing with water and everything like that. That's
Mm-hmm.
because they gave him the creative freedom to be themselves. And when you box up your kids, they become what you fear the most. I can
Yep.
tell you that without a friggin' doubt.
Yep.
Okay? But
They
when you
put away
give
more. Yep.
exactly, I mean that's why half of y'all, uh, uh, because your parents didn't love you or breastfed you. That's why y'all in the comments talking crap about Miss Rev from Star Wars, and you're talking about Miss Homegirl from Miss Marvel. It's just like the racism is it's emboldened in you because you weren't, properly trained. But it's fine. That's another conversation for another day. But what I did enjoy, was just the elements of her friendship with her friend and that bootleg Alexa. I thought that was cute. Once y'all fix that, let me know how much it costs. I'll buy it from you. But other than that, it was cute. It was cute. And also, I like that girl. Like, they're trying to make it seem like they're gonna be frenemies, and she's so sweet. Like, how can you hate her? How can you hate Kamala Khan? How can you hate her? You can't, because she's
Right.
fun. She has that energy. She's relatable, and I like her. And for the most part, the majority of people like her. But I can see that the girls are going out of their way. The Proud Boys are going out of their way to make sure that she fails. But let's get one thing straight: the MCU fandom, you will never overpower honey.
Come on.
And she's here to stay. She has made her footprint, and she has her feet on your necks.
Mm-hmm.
Bow down, bitches. And I can't wait to see this girl slay the girls in the Marvels coming 2023. Triple
Very
threat.
much that.
Oh my God. Absolutely. Carla?
Well, not talk about.
Oh, Carla, I think you're breaking up again.
How about now?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you now.
As I know the kids don't talk about Bruno, but I love Bruno. And
Oh, I think we're losing you again, Carla. Oh,
See,
lose
take care of
Carla.
the thing. Where to call her next?
Say.
I'm in danger.
I caught a little bit of what Carla said talking about Bruno. I like Bruno a lot on this show as well. He does remind me of the Bruno in the comics as well. So I'm enjoying that. I love how they're trying to stay as comic accurate as possible.
Yeah.
So that's really fun. All right, let me see. Oh, I think we got Carla back. Carla, can you hear us?
Yes, is it better now?
Yes, we can hear you. Yep.
I was gonna say about that little Zoe. I hope they give Kamala this at least one time to drag her little behind cross. Ooh, that bully there. But just seeing, like our brother said, seeing the teens be normal and just act out, it was very hysterical. And I did feel bad for Dad, though. Dad was like, oh,
Yeah.
like, we're going to do this thing. And I'm like, he kind of reminded me of Goofy doing his parenting thing on Goof Troop.
Yes.
I haven't even thought about that.
It was like the lovable dad.
Yeah.
Very lovable.
Yeah. That's so funny. Alrighty, guys. With that being said, we'll go ahead and move on to the third and final act of this episode. And this is where Kamala Khan realizes she is a superhero now. After checking on her parents and realizing that she's up against Zoe dressed as Captain Marvel too, Kamala rushes to the bathroom to change because the Captain Marvel competition is about to begin. She fails to put on the bangle and accidentally leaves the glowing gloves that Bruno made for Kamala in the bathroom. Bruno looks a little offended, but he urges Kamala to put on the bangle and complete her look. Kamala finally unlocks the seal of the bangle, and as soon as she puts it on, a surge of energy flows through her body. Not just that, she briefly travels to a different dimension where a crowd of people or creatures with glowing eyes are seen standing around her. She returns to the Avenger Con and even asks Bruno if he noticed all that, and he says that he hadn't and pushes Kamala towards the stage. After getting up there, the camera flashes and the loud cheering of the fans trigger some kind of panic attack, causing Kamala to freak out a little. That's when she accidentally activates the bangle's powers, which leads to a bizarre chain of events that almost kills Zoe. Thankfully, Kamala saves her while Bruno pulls her out of there before anyone notices that she has superpowers. Kamala swears to Bruno to secrecy so that he doesn't reveal all this to anyone. Kamala's mother finds out about her trip to AvengerCon and she scolds Kamala for her misbehavior. Kamala isn't too bothered about it though because she has superpowers now. Now, during the mid-credit scenes of this episode, we see the police officer who detained Peter Parker in Spider-Man No Way Home coming across footage of Kamala using her powers at AvengerCon and planning to bring her in. And that's where we end this episode. So it was pretty cool to see the little power-up that Kamala gets. And that was very interesting to see the head roll at AvengerCon, and then Thor's hammer scooping up Zoe like that. That was really wild. But what did you guys think?
So we get to the part now. If I ain't nitpick, I've talked about before leading up to the premiere of the show. Mm-hmm. I still do not agree with the change of her origin. Right. For those who are unaware, spoiler alert, she is an Inhuman. She gets her powers through the Terrigen Mist, and her powers were put in beginning or stretching. Mm-hmm. I do not agree with them changing that, but for the purpose of the show, it looked cool. It looked interesting. Like I said, I'm guessing her powers are more cosmic, and I'm getting the Shang-Chi vibes as far as the bangles. They or just maybe beyond Earth or wherever, what may have you. It looked cool, and we did see it stretch at one point, or whatever that was. The whole like going to another world and seeing all these creatures or people, like I said, I'm just going to hold judgment. I want them to explain what that was. Hopefully, we get that going forward. But it looked cool. Now, when the little girl got hit with the hammer, I thought that maybe she imagined that. I said, "Oh, they really hit her. Oh, goodness." Everything that just happened after that, it was funny. It gave me a chuckle. Like I said, even though I don't agree with how they changed her powers, it was visually it was nice. The CGI was not lacking in any way. So going forward, I'm interested to see what because like you saw from the trailer, like she like made like a barrier. She can it. Like so, I want them to if they're going to change her powers, then I want them to explain what her new powers is, what she can do with these with the Bengals.
Right.
The conversation with her and her mom. Again, I'm happy that Kamala stepped out, even if we didn't get some other wishes. And again, I know it's a cultural thing with them being more strict and more responsibilities placed on her than, let's say, the average American citizen or someone else or what have you. But I do feel one thing that I love is in the comics is her balancing her superhero life versus her, her family and her duties and all that stuff. I'm interested to see where that goes going forward. Again, the actress who plays the mother, I think she's doing an amazing job too. So kudos to her. And like I said, it just shows you how different cultures, um, how they interact and what they expect of their children. I think all parents expect more of their children than for themselves, but with different cultures, it can be more. I don't want to say severe, just different. And but I just want to give kudos for how they portray that. And again, I am very interested to see how that goes forward. Also, I didn't even realize that was the same detective in the mid-credit scene from the Spider-Man movie. So I'm
Right.
interested to see how that goes going forward. Are they hinting at a possible cameo? Like, I don't want to say never, but I don't think it's likely that Peter is going to make an appearance on the show. But that doesn't mean someone else from his particular movies, his classmates or somebody can also make an appearance. They're saying that they can't make an appearance either. So I would just see how that plays out too. Also, we usually don't get like a mid-credit scene. I think that's the first show we've gotten where there's a mid-credit scene on the very first episode.
Right.
I wonder if there are going to be any more like mid-credit scenes too, alluding to different things as we progress forward with the show. But overall, I said I liked what I saw. Like I said, I don't agree with the change, but I am interested to see how this all plays out going forward. Um, for her powers and just for the show itself. But I enjoyed it.
All right.
She should have hit that girl in her face.
Oh, no.
She should have said, "Crystal punch." And just decked her right in her jaw. Because, girl, how dare you? This is my gig. Why are you here? Go. Shoot fly, don't bother me. And look what happened. Look, she got her all lost and confused. And then on top of that, man, my girl had an anxiety attack and she was pew-pewing all over the place, and look what happened.
See.
Just hot mess all around. But it's okay, she's gonna get control of it and she's gonna be a bad bitch. It's gonna be fine. No worries. That being said, like I said, Mama's gonna eat the girls up. It was nice to see the Avenger Con thing going on. That was cute. I enjoyed that very much so. But And there was like a lot of references to Tony Stark there, and I do remember seeing like there was a thing about that. So that doesn't shock me in the slightest. Um, but I hope that it's not a repeating factor throughout the series. Like I said, this like off camera, but that it stings enough, child. We know Tony died, girl. Don't remind us every 30 seconds, please. And
Right.
that's all, I mean, that's really all my critiques on the final act of the episode. But I thought it was cute. So, bravo.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. And Carla, can you hear us? Oh, no, she's still having trouble hearing us. All right. Looks like Carla's having trouble hearing us right now. But we'll go ahead and try to loop her back in if we can. But yeah, this episode, I was really surprised that we got a mid-credit scene as well for this first episode. So I'm wondering what else we're going to see throughout this series. I know it's going to be tying into the Marvels film. So I'm just wondering what other cameos we could possibly expect seeing in this series.
I don't think it's beyond the possibility that we may actually get Captain Marvel on the show, because when Miss Marvel became Miss Marvel, she did meet Carol early on. So
Right.
fingers crossed that we probably get like some type of cross or interaction or some type of post-credit scene, mid-credit scene about leading to the Marvels. Also, one thing I do want to point out too, now that it's been over a decade since the first Avengers movie, we're now in phase 4, and we see more of everyday people, what how the world is with superheroes now, and now that it's been so long, how it's affect everyday people. I think that's one thing you see in the comics, aside from all the superhero stuff happening, especially in Marvel. We see everyday people who like the superheroes, who may not like superheroes, how their lives are impacted by these people. And I think going forward, something's doing more of that too. We saw that some, like we saw with No Way Home, how Spider-Man's secret identity being revealed, how that affected not only him but people in his lives, his friends, his family, like everyday people. I like seeing that type of thing kind of play out, because that is something that is very common in the comics, in those type of instances, especially with the younger superheroes. Like we saw that with Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, and I've seen it with Kamala, and whatever superheroes that come after them, especially the younger ones, like how not only are they affected by the superhero world, but other people too who may not be superheroes, who may just be either look up to the heroes or know the heroes by association, whatever the case may be. But seeing that play out too was really nice. AvengerCon, like I said, was really nice. I'm surprised if there already is one. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a VentureCon that is created because of this. Just kind of segue just a little bit. Here in Chicago, right before COVID came around, there was a convention that was created based on Wakanda. It's called Wakanda Con. All inclusive, but very Afrofuturistic, Afrofuturism, for the people, by the people. I mean, everyone is, knows no one turned away. Everybody's welcome to come. But the purpose of that convention was to explore blacks in different areas: technology, fashion, social, economical. On top of this, it being a regular convention, just all that stuff too. So seeing the VentureCon, like I said, we were like in phase 4 now, and we have all these superheroes and more to come. So seeing that convention directly for them, just like we saw the play in Hawkeye. I mean, let's hope that never gets made in real life. But But just seeing that now, seeing this hero's like impact on the world in different areas is like something I really like seeing displayed on these shows.
Right, right, absolutely. And we did get a message from Carla regarding the Asgard Pride shirt, which I liked as well. I was assuming that was referring to Valkyrie, but maybe I misread that as far as the Asgard Pride goes.
Oh, it could. I haven't even thought about that. It could be.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. They had a lot of cool merch there. Some like
Right.
I wouldn't mind.
You can see
Yeah.
the conventions now.
Yeah. Yeah. So Disney Marvel may want to like look into that in the future, getting that popped
It
off.
I mean, a fool.
Alrighty, guys. Well, before we wrap up this episode of Nerd Collision, you guys have any other final thoughts you want to share?
I'm just excited for the show. I'm wondering if we are going to get any more like any cameos or references. And I want to see, like I said, I'm enjoying seeing more of Kamala's culture, and I'm so happy that we're getting more diversity. That we're seeing heroes of different religions, ethnicities, and everything like that. So far, I feel that they really are honoring the source material, and I'd like to see more of her culture going forward.
Okay. All right, Brandon.
I'm looking forward to cameos. Obviously, I'm sure Brie Larson is gonna appear like at the very last episode. And she's gonna be like, "Hey, Kamala Khan, you got something for me?"
Oh my God.
I'll stank.
Hello,
but you know,
friend of a friend.
Yeah, but that being said, like, also, what is up with this police place? What is she? She's in New York, right?
Yeah,
She's in Jersey City.
Jersey City. Okay,
Mhm.
right. So, yeah, like, girl, if you don't follow, if touch grass, leave the superhero kids alone.
Please.
You're always picking on children. Are you
Please.
a child? You're a
Please.
child.
Because he didn't have nothing to say to Hawkeye.
Girl, nothing.
Just saying.
Big on it.
And yet he was shrinking people and getting people killed by eagles. Mamas.
Well, since you brought that up, one thing I ain't worried about now, did they reinstate or was it ever not in place the registration act or whatever?
Oh.
I mean, like I said, like it was like a freak incident at a convention. I mean, so I don't know if you can classify her as a superhero, even though she will be. But yeah, like that, because like I was thinking about that while we were talking. Like if that's going to play some type of role in this show too.
Yeah. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Alrighty, and Carla just sent us a message. She stated, keep the direction they are going, keep it inclusive, and deep dive into her background. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And I'm enjoying the series so far. I can't wait to see what we see next with Kamala on her journey to becoming Ms. Marvel in Britain. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode of Nerd Collision. Please remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let us know what you guys thought about this episode of Ms. Marvel. Also, please remember to click the bell button for notifications so that you know whenever we have new videos on our channel. And then please follow Nerd Collision on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. But once again, I'm Eddie. That's Ray. That's Brandon. That's Carla. We are Nerd Collision, and we'll see you guys here next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Come over here. Subscribe. You better subscribe. Oh, let go of your shirt. If you subscribe. You better subscribe to us. Nerd Collision. I am not letting go of your leg. Subscribe. Tell your punk ass friend stop kicking me. Subscribe.